Hi, I wanted to create this quick presentation just to cover some AI tools, instructional tools that you can use with caution as well. Let's go through them. All right, well, first of all, today I'll walk you through how I use AI as an instructional tool, not just as a shortcut, not just as a replacement for teaching. I frame AI the same way I would frame an instructional resource. It has to serve as a clear purpose. When used intentionally, AI can support differentiation, engagement, and feedback, but it should never replace thinking, discussion, or teacher decision making. Teacher integrity is always of the utmost importance. Everything I show you today is grounded in instructional goals and student needs. This is really my area of study right now. This is where I'm publishing right now too, as well, just because I'm growing as a learner as we navigate and leverage AI for both teachers and students as well. So, first of all, before we can talk about the classroom use, we need to talk about safety. Students should not be using AI tools openly, is what I'm trying to say. It's important that we look at student safety first. I only use secure, student appropriate platforms such as SchoolAI or NotebookLM. These environments allow teachers to monitor use and to protect student data and maintain instructional control. This is non negotiable. If a platform is not secure, it does not belong in the classroom. So it's important to go over this with your students too, as well, because a lot of times they don't realize that if they put something in an AI system, that it could go other places too, as well, especially if it's private information or something along those lines. All right. So, one of the most important, powerful ways I use AI is behind the scenes is for planning. AI helps me create texts that are aligned to specific reading level. And I have heard people say that they also do that as well. So that's wonderful. A specific skill, or a specific standard. This is especially helpful for differentiation and MTSS. Instead of searching endlessly for the right text, I can generate instructional, purposeful materials that match what my data is telling me my student needs. So again, you are teacher, the integrity of your teaching, you look at the data, you analyze it, you have to know the specific skill and the reading level, and then you have to analyze what AI generates too as well, because you might not like it. I've thrown out more stuff than I've kept with generative AI. It's all really important. All right, so this slide shows the level of specific um, prompting, and how prompting really makes sure that you are getting something that you can utilize. Prompting is really important. Here, I'm asking for an informational text at the fourth grade reading level on a specific topic with a specific instructional focus. The quality of the output depends entirely on the clarity of the instructional intent. This mirrors how we plan effective literacy instruction without AI. All right. Now, if we look, Notebook AI, not Notebook AI, Notebook LM is great for studying. My daughter, my own personal experience with it with my own daughter, she's in sixth grade taking a higher level seventh grade math, and math is totally different than when I went to school and how they're teaching it. And I don't, want to show her the wrong way from how I learned it, and it's different now. So we utilize Notebook LM a lot of the times, and her teacher is a big advocate of it too as well, because it creates quizzes. It can allow, for extra practice. So Notebook LM is a tool I use to support studying, not completing assignments. Students can upload teacher provided materials and use the platform to summarize, organize, or review information. Again, you could take articles. So if you're a graduate student and you're having trouble understanding an article, you could take an article and upload it to Notebook LM, and it can really break it down for you. It can create a presentation for you. It could, explain it to you in informational graphic. I really suggest you try out what Notebook LM has to offer. This is, especially helpful for students who struggle with organization or identifying key ideas. The key is that students are working with content they have already engaged with, not bypassing the learning. All right. Another feature that I use is School AI Sidekick. Now, School AI Sidekick is an example of how AI can increase engagement while still being structured and purposeful. I've used it for escape rooms, so it's really cool. I've done it with prefixes where we were reviewing prefixes. So I set it up to, and I prompted School AI Sidekick to kind of give my students 5 questions based on 5 different prefixes and give them feedback ongoing to kind of like troubleshoot if they were having trouble with, interpreting it, the meaning of the root or something, or the prefix, I'm sorry, in the word, in a sentence or something of the sort, or a paragraph. And they're able to use, their knowledge of that we have covered to escape essentially, this prompting by AI, and it was very powerful. The kids really liked it. You can use other kinds of escape rooms too. I've seen many different kinds, even in math and science too as well. So really, think it's a great way to kind of challenge your students. It's also great for interactive literacy tasks where students must think and problem solve to move forward. So, in other words, that I've done it where I've had a prompt that I have students program into school AI Sidekick, and it might say something like, generate, an informational text at the 4th grade reading level, depending on their reading level, since I work with struggling readers, about iPhones or something along those lines. And then it creates, a short text about iPhones at the 4th grade reading level. Again, it's not always 100% accurate. It might be slightly off reading level. Should you sometimes run a readability test? Of course, we're, diagnosticians here. We should make sure that we're using materials that are going to, serve its purpose. Then you can have sidekick after the student has read the text, prompted again, generate me 2 text-based questions, 1 inferential, and 1 critical thinking question. Again, and then prompt me to answer. The sidekick would also be noted to prompt the student to answer each question, then give them feedback based on how they responded until they've answered all of the questions that you asked it to. I love that activity because it really personalizes it, and students, get a specific text that they want to read. And also we can, go over, maybe they're having trouble with inferential questions. So I might just have the school sidekick AI just produce inferential types of thinking questions. The AI isn't doing the work, it's guiding the experience. This keeps, students engaged while maintaining instructional rigor and teacher oversight. All right, so teaching students to prompt AI. Another instructional move is teaching students how to prompt AI thoughtfully. When students ask AI to generate passages, they have to be specific and specify the reading level, genre, and skill focus. This will require them to understand the skill itself. So writing a strong prompt really becomes this metacognitive thinking about thinking to show whether students understand and the task at hand. All right. Of course, read it first, then AI. So one rule I'm very explicit about is that AI comes after the thinking. Students read the text, discuss it, and respond first. Only after that do we bring AI in for feedback, reflection, or extension. This ensures students are not outsourcing comprehension. AI supports the learning process, it does not replace it. So even when they're engaging in that interactive process, AI is waiting for the student to answer the question and then troubleshooting if for some reason the student says, an inferential question where they're over relying on prior knowledge. The AI can kind of troubleshoot that and say, well, the information you provided is not actually in the text. So that's really important. AI can also be a function as a questioning partner. After reading, students can ask AI to pose questions and wait for their responses, like I just had mentioned before. This really mimics the effect of the teacher questioning and allows, if you're in a classroom of 25, it allows personalized instruction while you're, facilitating and circulating the room to make sure that students are kind of getting the most out of the experience. Again, you are in control of the lesson. You are the teacher integrity and stuff like that, of course, is upheld here. You're kind of supporting it and making sure that it's going well. All right. So levels of questions. One feature I really value is the ability to adjust the level of questioning. Students can request literal, inferential, or evaluative questions. This supports scaffolding and helps students recognize the difference between surface level comprehension and deeper thinking. It aligns directly with best practices in comprehension instruction and also frameworks like DOK, which is depth of knowledge. So, how difficult the question is. Depth of knowledge usually measured like level 1 to level 4, and Bloom's taxonomy too as well. All right. And of course, teacher judgment is so important. I want to be very clear here. AI does not replace professional judgment. Teachers still set the purpose, select the tools, monitor student use, and connect outcomes back to data. AI can enhance instruction, but only when it is guided by a knowledgeable, reflective educator. That's really important. So I hope you leave with these key takeaways. As future literacy leaders, your responsibility is not just to use new tools, but to use them wisely. AI should always be intentional, ethical, and secure. When used well, it can support differentiation, engagement, and feedback. But teachers remain the drivers of instruction. The question is never, can AI do this? It should always be, should AI be used here and why? It really can, help you, and you should use it as an assistant to your teaching profession and engagement. All right. Well, I hope you found this presentation useful and engaging. And let me know if you have any follow-up questions, specifically like about something that I might have said. And you're like, can you go a little bit more in depth? I'm happy to do that. Happy to meet with you if you have any questions. All right. Thanks for listening.